Welcome back. On this episode, we have Devon Smillie, professional BMX rider. He's just getting into drifting in the last couple of years, and I thought it'd be cool to have him on and talk about kind of what the allure is from BMX to drifting, because there's so many people who go from BMX to drifting, or at least do BMX and also drifting. And he's a funny dude. He's got some good stories. I enjoyed it. I hope you do too. Check this one out. This episode is brought to you by Flock Manufacturing. Do you want Jason Bostrom's car on your Crocs? Yeah, why wouldn't you? You shouldn't go outside if you don't have that. You shouldn't step foot in your car if you don't have that. You want the best throttle control in the game? You need Jason Bostrom's car on your Crocs. It's a done deal, right? Go buy one. If you use the code Goodest, you get 20% off. And they got all kinds of other stuff too. They got like Kazuya stuff. They have my friend Sally's stuff on there. There's like some anime stuff I don't know anything about. But again, code Goodest. There's also going to be links to get you to the site and all the things. And that was a work notification. So I have to go back to work now. Dude, so yeah, I realize I like know fucking zero about BMX. I know nothing about you. And I was scrolling. I was like, oh shit, we're gonna do this fucking podcast. I should probably like learn a little bit about this dude. So I was like scrolling through your IG, and it's just like nothing but like fucking insane clips. And I'm like, fuck, I don't know nothing about this dude. What I did see was like, I saw a clip of you riding a 250. Like,
yeah, the two smoker.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, shit. So like, you know, you've been doing like motor stuff a little bit.
You're good. You can do whatever.
It's all good. Yeah, this isn't like a serious thing.
Yeah, we're relaxed over here.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, you'll probably see my girlfriend and our dog in the background eventually. So.
Yeah, same. We got 3 pups running around the house.
What do you got?
3.5 pound Chihuahua, like 70-pound Shepherd mix. We actually don't know what she is. She keeps failing DNA test or blood work test or whatever.
Yeah.
And then recently Haley brought home a blue pit bull from the kill shelter. He was they're all rescue dogs. Nice. Yeah, in a little tiny apartment too, but they're good. We couldn't ask for better dogs, honestly.
Yeah, our dog's just a puppy right now, and he's like 6 months old, and I think we think he's gonna be like 80 pounds, and we definitely have like a small apartment. So
what kind of dog is he?
It's a Bernese mountain dog and poodle mix.
Yeah. He's gonna be big.
Yeah, he's like full size poodle, I think. Yeah.
Nice.
My girlfriend needed a hyperallergenic, so we had to go that route. But
I got you. Yeah, you got your hands full with a puppy for sure, I would imagine.
Yeah. So I saw that clip of you like on a 250, right? And it was like you were saying you had to sell your old 250 to pay rent, like moving to California. Like, where are you from, man?
So I grew up in Georgia, like a little bit northeast of Atlanta, and I was originally born in Northern California, like Mountain View area.
Oh shit!
And then parents moved me to Georgia when I was like 1, so my whole life I was pretty much in Georgia until about 18 or 19. And at 18 I got like my first offer to ride for felt bikes professionally, and I was like, there was not really much of a, I mean, there was a BMX scene, but for like productivity wise and like getting out there and trying to get noticed, like it seemed like it was the best move to California, and I'd like always kind of wanted to live here anyway, so just made sense.
Yeah. So you just like at 18, like how old were you when you moved out here?
I just actually 18 going on 19. I moved like in September, and my birthday was coming up in November. But I actually like had a knee surgery, and when I woke up from the knee surgery, I noticed I had like a bandage on the wrong knee, and it turns out that they started surgery on the wrong knee. I had like 5 doctors come in like pre-surgery, like, yo, all right, what are we doing? We're doing surgery on your right knee. And I was like, yes, my right knee. And then like they drew a bunch of stuff on my knee. So I mean, I didn't see how things could go wrong. But when I woke up, like I was like, "What is this?" And my dad was just laughing, like, "Yeah, they started on the wrong leg," and we're like, "What?" And the like one of the nurses came in and was like, "We're so sorry," and she gave me a free chicken sandwich Chick-fil-A coupon. And
Get the fuck out of here. They're like, oh yeah, here you
yeah,
go.
it's a true story. I'm not lying. And then my mom pretty much owned a bike shop from she started it when I was about like 5 for I was racing BMX at the time. And it basically like continued into freestyle, then mountain bikes, and then one of the last locations she was like doing kayaks and all kinds of outdoor sports stuff. But
Sick.
the building she was renting it from was actually like a lawyer had his office in the back. So our service station was like right by where his desk was. And I came in limping, whatever, and like told him the whole story. I was like, yeah, like they started surgery on the wrong knee. And he immediately was like, that's malpractice. Like, do you want a lawsuit? Blah, blah, blah. I was like I never imagined I'd like sue someone or whatever, but he ended up going about it, and like I didn't really ask for too much. I probably could have asked for a lot more, but like I ended up settling for like 10 grand and he got a third of it. So I was like 18 with just 7 grand out of nowhere. And I was like, this is cool. So took that, moved to California. I wasn't making much at the time. And within like a few months of living there, like that was pretty much all gone. So yeah. I ended up having to sell my past bike. I had like a 2007 KX 250, and it was like from a buddy that raced. So it was all like full built and everything. It was such an awesome bike. I loved it. Got hurt on it a lot though, so I kind of like stopped riding it anyways. But that ended up going to rent money, and yeah, it was a little while where funds were tight. You know, it was definitely tough trying to make it out here in a way. You know.
Yeah, what's that look like? I mean, you came out here already like to ride pro, and then it just like does it like take time to like get to the point where you have more sponsorship where you can like actually get by? Or
it's definitely kind of like a risk taking factor to it. You're not guaranteed anything, of course, and like I think I was only making like $500 whenever I moved there, and it's like, so I was living off of that and whatever money I had from the lawsuit. And like if you could find a room super cheap, then like it's a lot easier to go about it. But I think I was paying $800 a month, and then whatever food and gas on top of that. It's pretty much like I was like, after 6 months, I was pretty broke. I ended up like having to ask my parents for like $50 for gas one day. And I was like, this is terrible. And then like a couple weeks after that, I ended up getting an offer from Fly Bikes, which is the company I ride for currently. And then also got put on pro for Osiris shoes. So that became 2 more checks. So that kind of stabilized me a little bit more so I could live out here longer and kind of keep pursuing my dreams and passion, you know?
Yeah, that's huge, man. I can't like it's like hard to go. It's hard to, it's probably like a big motivator to go ride when you don't know where your next check's coming from and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. It's oh man. Yeah. It's one of those things where like, as rough as it was, like I wouldn't change anything about it, how it came about, but said to be patient, really.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Yeah, was it like good motivation to like ride more, or was it?
Yeah, I mean, especially at that age when like you get your first pro check, it's kind of like you feel on top of the world, so you just want to keep grinding in a way. And then the next offers that came through was just even more of a push to kind of get out there more. And it wasn't like I wasn't doing stuff before or whatever, but yeah, that was kind of the moment where it was like, all right, yeah, this is it. Like I'm going to put everything I got into it, really.
Yeah. I mean, I can only imagine how many people there are like in drifting, for example, there's only, I don't know, there's only so few people who actually can survive on
Yeah.
going drifting, and
I've
then the amount of people who like drift and spend a bunch of money on it is huge. And then like BMX, like there's a lot of people who don't put a ton of money into it, but no one's making money, you know? Like,
Yeah, it seems like similar industries in a way. Like you have so many people that are into it and do it because they love it, but like they're also investing a lot of themselves into it just to
yeah.
like be able to do it. Like I've always been kind of curious about that with drifting. Like I'm sure like the pro FD guys kind of like I'm sure there's a little bit of money in there, but at the same time, like I know how much money it takes to get to that point. So it's like
You
it
you'd be
seems like
surprised. Like we have homies who, you know, went to Pro One and they're like coming like yeah, it's not a path for the broke, you know?
yeah, no,
Like
I see that. So it's like similar to motocross racing in a way.
yeah, I mean to be totally honest, like two of my teammates. Okay, so one of my teammates was in FD, Ryan Cotto, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he had like a little help from his family, and he like lived at home, and you know he was young, so he still had like those years, so he was like grinding it out, and um, he had some support, but not. It wasn't like a full ride, pretty much. So like he's putting in money every year just to go drive professionally.
Yeah.
And like he did that for like a few years, and it was just like it just never, like even if you're qualifying high, doing well, like you never get the
It,
endorsements that like the
yeah.
top
You're
three
not
guys
getting the
get.
return of what you're putting into it at all.
Yeah, there's like no ROI. We have like a few friends that have went through that. Like my other two teammates, Julian and Jason, right? They had their pro license and they were building their cars, and like yeah, I mean neither of them have like a lot of support financially, and it was just like they did everything they could, and you know the cars got crazier in the year that it took them to build their cars, and then by then it's like they're already behind. It's pretty
Yeah.
wild.
So are they just kind of like still just doing it for fun, basically, or
Yeah, I mean I'd say they got the better end of the deal. Like you know they've shipped their cars to Japan and back,
yeah,
and you know we get to go like drive all over the world and stuff, and it's low pressure and can't really complain. I mean it's, you got to spend some money, but
yeah,
you know you just set your life up so that that's how it is.
yeah. You're getting experiences that like a lot of people will never get in their life, kind of thing too. So
Yeah,
it's kind of what's it worth to you in a way.
yeah, I mean I just, instead of trying to turn it into a job, I was like fuck, I need money to do this and I'm not going to stop doing it. So like
Yeah,
I got to get like this other job, and I got to like get this certification or get this or whatever so I can make more money.
yeah, definitely. I get that.
Yeah, I mean like how did you I feel like it's so interesting because I feel like there's so many people from BMX who like get into drifting and they're just like good right away, like not, you know, not like amazing, but they like
Yeah.
they skip like 2 years of like sucking.
uh honestly, I I owe it all to the simulator stuff. I like,
Yeah.
yeah, because I like it's kind of weird how I got into car stuff in the first place too, because I was actually living with my grandparents at one point because luckily they live pretty local. They're in like Laguna Hills area. So there was like a time where I actually had like a falling out with my roommate. So I was homeless in a way. So they were kind of like my fallback plan and they helped me out. And they had a G35 sedan at the time. And it was manual and they're like, we're going on 80 years old at the time. And they were like, yeah, we don't really want to like drive manual anymore. So they sold it to me for like super cheap. And they were the original owners. Um, and I didn't know anything about the car. I was just like, yeah, this thing's way faster than my G20 or whatever. Like, so I drove that around for a while. It took me a year before I realized there was traction control on it. And started just like slinging it in the rain and like kind of messed with it a little bit from that. And kind of was like playing Forza, like doing that, whatever. And ended up investing a little bit into just a little Logitech steering wheel setup. And after watching like a bunch of videos on people driving a Seta, like I ended up getting a PC last year. And so now I got like, that's what that whole little setup thing is hiding back there. I got like the handbrake and everything for it, but did that with VR and everything. And that's just kind of like gave me a better idea, I guess. I mean, it definitely translates. It's not anywhere near exactly the same, but like surprisingly, it has helped a lot for sure. So I've probably been to like 8 events. I don't really like doing the street drifting thing so much just because it's kind of like super hot around this area.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
it's
It's different than it used to be, man, because it's like now, like now that it's okay in certain areas it's different, but I would say like Southern California and Northern California, like they see you there, they have like all these orders that go after all the like takeover stuff. So it's like they see you doing any of that stuff, man, like they think you're one of those dudes, and then
that's a tough topic too, man. It's super sad to kind of see all that happen. And I feel like I started getting into drifting at the same time that takeover started becoming popular. So I was like dailying the Z around, like ended up buying that thing salvage title after winning some money from an X Games. Sick. And just like with plans of running it to the ground, and left it registered to my parents in Oregon. So it's their vehicle. So like I don't have to stress like smog and stuff like that. Sick. But even then, like even just driving around with like an exhaust on a car, like I'm like, it makes me so anxious, that kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
I was like dailying that with a welded diff for like a year and a half. Like that was the only vehicle I had.
You get pulled over with the hydro. They're like,
yeah,
what are you doing?
I'm kind of waiting for that. Luckily I have a truck now, so it's like I'm not constantly in that car. But yeah, like seats, hydro, like steering wheel, all that. I'm sure
there's like literally no getting out of it.
Yeah.
They're like, what were you doing? Be like, oh, I don't know. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. I've been anytime I drive it though, I usually have my bike with me. So I have like these little suction cup racks. So I'll throw the bike on the back. And I actually got stopped by the police once for speeding on the freeway. I had no idea how fast I was going. And I seen them behind me and I was like, oh gosh. So I just got all the way over and was like waiting and waiting for them to pull me over. And sure enough, they did. Dudes came out and was like, I had a friend that was a cop tell me that it makes him more like feel safer if you put your hands out the window, that kind of thing. So like I threw the keys on the dash, put my hands out the window, and the cop's like, have you ever been arrested? And I'm like, wait, what? No. Step out of the car, like had me against the police car and everything, and asking me what I was doing. I was like, yeah, I was just riding, like coming home. Like I had no idea how fast I was going, like just changing lanes, and people were going slow in the fast lanes, whatever. And yeah, just asked me what I did, and I was like, I ride BMX bikes professionally. Like that's like my name's all over that bike and all that, and blah blah blah. And dude was like, if I look you up and you're lying, then like you're gonna be in a lot of trouble. And like hit the Google and was like, the first thing he said, he pulled up an old video and was like, you look better with long hair. I was like, dude, this is weird. This is so weird.
You're like, oh, where is this going, bro? Like,
yeah. But yeah, dude, that's like, it's kind of like, I don't know. It's cool and not cool how that they took that, but I mean, there was kind of like the pro privilege with that in a way. So
it's kind of sick. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. So I kind of like
take it.
Try to pull that card as much as possible. What happened to my screen here?
I can see
Google Chrome pulled up. All right, cool. So yeah, that's hopefully that works again one day if I ever do get bothered.
Yeah, I got pulled over in my M3. My M3 used to be white, but I bought it with like a half cage in it, and like I put bucket seats in it like pretty much like the day I got it, and
Yeah.
then I went streeting. I actually haven't told this story on here. I went streeting. Like I used to go streeting all the time when I was younger, and then I hadn't for like 5 years or so because I didn't have a street car. So I just bought the M3 and I was like, oh, it's stock. Like, what are they gonna do? Like, I'm not gonna get a rev ticket. Might as well go out, have some fun. First corner, first time in like 5 years, I get pulled over. Like I come around the corner and like literally there's a cop pulling somebody over already, and he just ditches them and like goes after me.
Oh my gosh, that's tough.
I didn't get out of that one.
Where you hit, like, where were you driving? Was it industrial stuff or like on ramp or what?
It was it's like in the hood area in San Francisco, like out in like Hunters Point area.
Oof. Dang.
I gotten away with it before, you know, but
Yeah,
I guess 5 years later it's you never know, right? Like that's
So
the thing,
what?
man. Like I don't know, it's kind of not worth it. So I stick to track stuff. Just
Yeah,
easier.
for sure. Definitely like a lot less pressure when you go to a track, but at the same time, like I don't have a trailer or truck that can pull my car or anything. So I'm like, most of the events I've been to Adams once, but every other time it's just been Grange, and it's like I'm driving 2 hours out there and hoping that like everything goes well and I can make it home. So it's kind of stressful, but at the same time, like it's cool that there's like the outlet to be able to at least get some laps in and the seat time and everything, and know that like the progression is still there without having the fear of cops and things like that or whatever.
Yeah, you guys are pretty fortunate that you have that down there, because it's like you can rent it out during the week, or it's weekend events are like literally every weekend, and you can I've met so many people, like, because there's a lot of kids that I know that ride too that are also into drifting. So there's like events constantly that I'm being invited to. And I actually rented it out last year for like a birthday event, and it was super small. I probably had like 15 guys out there, but that was like one of the sickest times too. Yeah, because just the homies, like we do that every once in a while too. Those are the best, because it's like no pressure, no one, you know, like you're just there with your friends. Everyone's like trying to, you know,
because there's always like the event that I seen you at, there's like freaking pro drivers there, and I'm like, I don't even know if I want to go on the track. I'm so scared. Like, I'm not that confident in my driving, but
yeah, but you're like a pro BMX, or like, what, you know what I mean? Like it's not like
but
when
no
you
one
go
else
to
knows that.
It's not like when you go to the park, everyone's like, oh fuck, bro, like I don't even want to try, you know?
Yeah, but I'm back to the bottom when it comes to driving though, you know.
Yeah, that's kind of funny, man. Like, because okay, so Jeff Stonebeck, Papa Jeff Stonebeck, that's weird that you probably
I think we follow each other on Instagram. That dude's
sick. Yeah, he rides BMX, dude. He like, and he was like a pro like driver, right? So it's like it's kind of funny, because I'm sure like the levels are, like between you two on both of those things. Yeah, like I think Front Street, like, you know Front Street, the drift team. Anyway,
I don't think so, but
they're East Coast boys. So it's Jeff Stonebeck and then like a bunch of dudes from Staten Island.
Oh, nice.
They named their team after, I think, either the skate park's called like Front Street Skate Park, or it's on Front Street or something. Like that's how they all met, and then they all got into drifting, like because one dude got a 240, and then they all.
Damn, that's funny. Yeah, I remember even like growing up, one of the local skate parks, there was always this one kid that pulled up in a hatch, or they had like multiple 240s. I remember, and like back in the day, we like see him pull up, and we're just like, dude, what is this thing you're driving? But like the older I get, I'm like, damn, that kid was sick. It's so different nowadays. But that's funny. Yeah, it seems like a lot of people either from like skateboarding or BMX, like somewhere or another, end up getting the driving or drifting. It's pretty cool.
I think it's like, so they did like a brain scan on that dude, like what's his name, like Alex, fuck, the guy that like climbed that giant ass rock in Yosemite, like free, like without a rope. What's his fucking name?
Yeah.
Alex Honnold, I think. Anyway, they did like a brain scan on him, and they said that like the part of your brain where you like feel fear, I guess, is less, like way less. And they don't know if it's he was just born like that or like he got that over time from like doing scary shit. And then
Huh.
it's like you're like less and less affected by it. But I feel like, you know, like you talk to like a normal person, like, you know, let's not be mean, like, but like a person who has never like done any like skateboarding or BMX or I don't know, rock climbing or jumped off shit. You know, like people who just
Yeah.
like don't do stuff like that. You show them drifting or you like talk about car stuff, like you just like floor it and they're like, "What are you doing?" You know, like
Yeah.
uh I feel like that part of the brain changes for people who do things like that we do, you know?
Yeah. To a certain level, probably as much as you push yourself. Because I mean, like I've always like ridden motocross and ridden BMX and skateboarded, but shit still scares me, you know? Like,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
especially like the older I get, the more I've like kind of developed my riding style to be like technical to where I'm closer to the ground and not jumping off of stuff as much. But like I have friends that ride that like hang off of bridges and things like that. And it's like that's nuts to me, you know? Like there's
Yeah.
I don't know, a whole different spectrum of adrenaline junkies, I guess. I
Yeah.
like being in control basically.
Mm.
But like when there's I don't know, certain things where I don't trust myself at, you know.
Yeah. I feel like at least you're I would say that you have, I mean, maybe I feel like everyone's afraid of stuff. Like I'm afraid of shit. You know, I'm not gonna go like fucking jump a like six stair tomorrow just because I'm like, fuck yeah, dude, I've been drifting hella much. Like I'm not scared of shit. But like I do have like more confidence on a skateboard than I did before I started drifting. And I haven't really skated much. So I feel like that might be maybe because I'm a little less scared of shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's not like a huge amount. Like I'm not like good. I'm fucking terrible, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. That and then also like probably more calculated or something too, kind of understanding how things work.
Yeah.
Because I get that too. Like I still skate every now and then. That's not as much as I used to growing up, but I feel like every time I hop on a board, like things make more sense. Kind of the same thing with like driving even too. Like I feel more comfortable just every time I go out, I guess.
Interesting. Yeah. So you got a G35 and then you like did you find drifting through like other people in BMX, or was it just like you like
Um,
played racing games and you're like, this is tight? Like how'd you make it to attract it? That's always an interesting one for me because that's like a big division, you know, like
there was kind of a little while where after I got the G, um, where I've always listened to a lot of Xavier Wolf, and me and my buddies were like heavy on it when he dropped the like Project X tape, and that kind of introduced us to Initial D, and that kind of sparked a little bit of something too. But I mean, I was
sick.
like playing Forza before that as well, so kind of just like that mixed in with like other riders that were into driving and like I don't know. I don't even remember like how I ended up at the first event. I don't remember. I was trying to think about who hosted it, but I think it was kind of just like a public event that someone hosted. And one of my buddies that I would like bring my car to his shop, he was like, yeah, dude, like there's this event. We should go out to it. And I was like, whatever, let's send it. Let's go. And like just kind of didn't touch the e-brake at all. And like the car wasn't set up at all. It was still like stock suspension, welded diff, and that was it. Like
Sick.
nothing. And
No
that was
angle.
nothing. So that was kind of just like the first experience of getting to drive. And that was probably February 2019 or 18. So it's been a few years since the first one, but just like every few months just try to go to as many as I can, I guess. So not too many, but enough to get my fix, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, obviously it's not like a priority because you got hella other shit going on.
Yeah.
But it's cool. It's like exciting to see it kind of get recognized with people who do other stuff, you know? Like
Yeah. It's been cool, like just getting into cars. I have a buddy Coco that he has like an R35 that's rear wheel drive. It's super crazy. And
was it at the event that I was at?
yeah, the
Okay.
one that was all wrapped. It had like
Yeah, I
the
was like,
neon wheels
what
and
is
stuff.
that thing pulled up? And I was like, are they gonna drift that thing?
Dude,
That thing's
Coco is the
wild.
wildest guy. Yeah. And it's funny because he let me drive it, and like that thing's still LSD and like paddles, and I could not get the diff to lock up at all. Like I would just be turning it and flooring it, and it would just be like spinning one wheel. And he's like, yeah, you gotta like go straight and floor it, and then it'll break both wheels, and then you can swing it. But then once you get that, you can't lift, otherwise it opens up again. So then I just got like a whole nother level of respect for him, because he took me on the track with it, and he was like linking corners and stuff, and I was like blown away. But
Yeah, those cars are actually kind of hard to drift. I think
yeah, I
like all
I
the
wouldn't know, but just from that one experience trying to drive it, I would way rather drive my Z if I'm trying to slide.
yeah, especially learning. Is that his first drift car?
I mean, I wouldn't even consider that a drift car for him, but yeah, he's never actually had a drift car. So he's telling me he's got plans of trying to get a Z like sometime before August.
Yeah, I think that's the right way to go.
That would be the move for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, like met him actually at X Games, and that was like a few years ago, and we were just like talking cars and stuff, and through him he's kind of helped me make like a lot of good connections, and got me connected with like Conce and NRG and those dudes. So it's been cool, like getting invited to like NRG events and stuff and private track days. So it's crazy like how everything just kind of falls into place through riding, really.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that's kind of how it works with drifting too. Like I don't know, I have friends like all over the world because of drifting that I wouldn't
Yeah.
have normally. You know, it's kind of sick. Pretty like fortunate position to be in. Like,
Yeah.
you can go to I can go to like a lot of the continents and I'll know at least like a couple people. You know, I might not be close to them, but like
Yeah. Do you have
but at
people
least
that ever just like offer you their car to drive kind of thing?
for the first time that's happening this year. I think I'm going to Poland for next
Dang,
level. Yeah. So that should
that'd
be
be sweet.
I'm really excited.
Yeah, I could imagine. When are you supposed to do that?
I think it's in September. I should probably figure out those dates and request it off work, but you know, I wasn't sure about COVID, so it's like one of
Yeah.
those things. Like I really hope they open up the border because this is like, fuck, man. Like I want to do this so bad.
Yeah, this has been one of the slowest years in a while. I don't think I've traveled since like last February. I'm kind of getting to that point where I'm itching to go out and do something. But I'm
Yeah,
also like, I don't know if I want to like go out to Europe or anything. So it seems like places are even going back on lockdown. Like
yeah,
my worst fear is being overseas and then
having them lock it
something like
down.
that happening to where there's no way to get home, which is
Yeah.
probably like far fetched, but I don't know. At this point, it's could be reality. I don't know.
Do you travel internationally to ride often?
Usually used to. Um, had the had a good few trips. Usually it's places in Europe. Like the company I ride for is based out of Spain, so been to like Barcelona a handful of times. Portugal is probably
Sick.
one of my favorite places. Been to Germany, UK, a couple different places in Canada. Never been to South America. I want to go there. That seems like it'd be cool.
Yeah. Been to Peru. Peru is cool.
Nice. Yeah, I
Someone
feel
someone
like
hit me up on IG. They're like, come slide my E36. I was like, fuck, I'm leaving right now. I was like on my way to the airport. I was like, dude, he's like, come street with us. And I was like, dude, you know, I you know, like how sick would that be? Just like,
yeah, you're about to miss your flight for that.
Yeah, I was like with a group of friends too, so I couldn't be like, like I might miss the flight, but it'll be worth it, you know?
Yeah. Damn, that would have been sick.
Yeah.
That's tough. But
yeah.
Hey, at least you got that connection though.
Yeah, next
in the
time
future.
I go back.
Whenever you're in Peru next. But I've always been kind of like cautious with South America. I don't want to just send it. I want to have like
people.
Like, yeah, just definitely want to have something planned out, have like a tour guide or something. So I always hear things where there's like places you don't want to go and that kind of thing. I don't know how it is in all places down there, but
I mean, if you're astute, like if you like kind of know what's going on and you like know when people like when it's, I don't know how, like some people have like a hard time determining whether someone's being like genuine or not, I guess. I don't know. Or like I feel like those are the people that get into trouble down there. Or like if you're going after, so I like one of my closest friends actually lived in like, he lived in Colombia, he lived in he went all over South America, like he taking buses, and he said the only time he was with one friend.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. The only time he had anything, so he had like two things happen. One time he was in Colombia and this dude just comes up and he's like, hey, can you help me out, please? And like he's like, with what? And he's like, oh, just over here, like, can you help me out? And he was like, no, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm not going behind that building. Like,
that's automatic suspect.
Yeah. The other time he got off a bus and it was like 3 a.m. or something, and he was walking to a hostel, and like they said, hey, in this area, just be careful, you know? And he was just like, oh, I'm not gonna get like a cab or anything, like it's right there.
Yeah,
you know, famous last words. And so he's like cruising up the street and he looks over and there's like a cab, but it's like a fake cab, but he can tell, you know, it's like someone made like a shitty car look like a cab. And the guy goes, hey, you want to ride? And he's like, no gracias, like I'll be on my way. Dude pulls out a gun and goes, you want to ride? And he goes, no gracias, and just keeps walking. And like they were so shocked that he like saw the gun and like kind of just like blew it off, like made a joke out of it and walked off, that they were like, what the fuck? And they just like let him go pretty much.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But I think that was, I can't remember what country that was in. But he was down he was down there for like a year plus, you know, like if you hung out in certain neighborhoods like in the States, you would have that same thing happen, you know?
Yeah, I guess so. That's gnarly. That's definitely the thing that I would be trying to avoid.
Yeah.
Handled it well though. I don't know how I'd be able to act in that situation. Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean he's like not everybody's like good at avoiding stuff like that. Like, I mean, some people would just take off running, maybe, probably, or like some people would be like, okay, I guess I'll get in the car. Like, don't get in the car, you know, like out of panic, they'd be like, oh, I guess I should do what they said, you know, like,
yeah. Damn.
Good for him. Yeah, you should do it. It'll be sick. There's like, I don't know. It's not like, I feel like people make it sound more dangerous than it is. Like I feel like there in a lot of countries you could get into stuff if you end up in the wrong place, you know. It's not just,
yeah, I guess so. I guess I definitely have the wrong idea of it just from probably like movies mostly, honestly.
Yeah. But if somebody comes after you for your phone, you give them that shit because they'll fucking, yeah. But that's like in most countries, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like
I want to go to like Brazil and Argentina, some other places. Got some on the list. Need to figure it out though. Hopefully in the future we'll be free.
Yeah. I'm trying to go down there too, man. I want to go to Colombia. Like apparently it's fucking sick.
Yeah, there's like, and it's crazy for BMX too. Like surprisingly, there's large BMX scene in South America. Like
Yeah,
it's
I
pretty
saw a
popping.
clip today of some dude doing like a backflip in an intersection. I
Yeah.
was like, what? Off like a kicker?
Yeah, the side hustle. Dude, I seen
I
that
was
clip
like,
recently. He hits it like right to the crosswalk and you just see the kicker like fully tilt. You're like,
yeah,
dude, this is sketchy. What are you doing?
like,
But
dude, I see that and I'm like, that guy's fucking insane. And then people probably see like drift clips, like, and probably not of me, but like of people or whatever, and they're just like, are they insane? You know? And it's like,
yeah,
I mean, it's not really that, you know, at least like I'm in a car.
yeah. That's
You
one
know,
thing that I kind of look at. That's why I like driving too, because it's something that I could see myself doing like after BMX even, because I
yeah,
know I'm not going to be able to ride forever, but I see dudes drifting that are like in their 40s and stuff. So it's like,
yeah,
just another way to have fun.
yeah. It's yeah, people get hurt a lot less. Like I had I broke my knee skateboarding when I was like 13. I've had knee surgery also.
Oh, damn.
So yeah, I know how that is. I
Would
wasn't
you,
good.
would
I
you
like
actually break?
I hyperextended my knee and broke part of the bone that like holds the like bottom part of the leg from coming
What?
up. I guess. I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it. I was like pretty young when they did it.
That's not
And,
really
and then I
hyperextending. Sounds gross.
yeah, then I tore my ACL on my 21st birthday, but that's another story.
Was alcohol involved?
Yeah,
That's
maybe.
that's the worst. I shouldn't be laughing. We can laugh about it now because I'm sure you got it taken care of, right?
Yeah, I'm good
Yeah,
now.
that's tough. I did the ACL when I was like 17. That was my knee surgery that I had, but I did it in the beginning of a year in Georgia. So I was like, I could either get surgery and be out all summer through recovery and then be healed up by winter time and not be able to ride due to weather and stuff. So I was like, I'm just gonna wait until winter to get surgery. So I went probably like 8, 9 months with no ACL, and it
Oh,
was, dude, it was gross. It was the worst year. I mean, luckily I could like still ride and stuff, but it was just like once a week it was coming out. It just became like normal, and I would just shake it off 30 seconds later, like could bend it again and go back to riding. Like it was disturbing. It was so nasty.
but before I got my second surgery, yeah, mine would like lock out of place. And one time I didn't realize that like I could like if I rolled my leg around sideways and like I could pop it back in
Yeah.
because I think I tore like some of the meniscus like in between the first and second surgery. And so like it would come out of like maybe my ACL was smoked too. I don't know, but the first time it happened, I just like stayed in my house for like 3 days because I couldn't like unlock my knee, and I was like, well,
You
I
just
don't
left
know.
it out of place.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah,
Yeah, mine was never that bad. It would kind of just like roll in and out real quick. It never like fully stayed out, but it was like still gross feeling. But I've seen or heard of people where it kind of just locks out, and that's scary. Yeah, that's tough stuff. Did you
yeah,
end up getting, you said you got 2 surgeries though?
yeah. So like that was happening like in between the first one and my second one where I woke up on my it was actually we partied the night before my 21st birthday, and I woke up on my 21st birthday and I couldn't walk, and I went to the orthopedic surgeon's office for my 21st birthday. It
Uh, that's tough.
was cool, whatever. At least I'm fixed now, you know.
Yeah. You did physical therapy and all that.
Yeah, I like actually listened this time because like when I was 13 and I got my knee surgery, I was like a, you know, troubled youth and was like, no, I'm fucking, I'll be fine. You know, I'm gonna walk this off. And like, no, dude.
Yeah, I did the same thing though. I ended up having to get a second surgery as well. I like after my surgery, I got like a cadaver, and I went like 2 months. I probably saw a PT guy twice and was
Yeah,
like, after a couple months, I was like, oh yeah, like I feel good. Like I'm walking around, I can
yeah,
pedal a bike. Like
yeah.
I'm just gonna start going back to the park, and like started riding again. And then that was like in between the period of where I moved to California, and like through the 3 years in between surgeries, I was like, man, this like it feels wobbly. Like it's gonna happen again. I'm sure it is. And like it ended up, I was like doing a 180 bar spin, and like in the middle of the trick, like when I do bar spins, I pinch my knees against the seat. And just from the force of like grabbing the seat with my knees, I felt my knee like buckle in and out. And I was like, dude, like there it went. Like my feet didn't touch the ground or anything. Like I landed the trick. It just happened midair floating. It was the weirdest thing. But it was actually, it was at like the last LAX games, and I was an alternate. So they had like medical staff there that looked at it and got me into like one of the nearest hospitals, and I got an MRI, and they got the MRI back like 1 or 2 days, like the fastest I've ever heard of an MRI coming back. And they were like, yeah, like you did medial lateral meniscus, but your ACL is still good. And I was like, that's a great thing to hear. But at the same time, like got to go through the same process of getting surgery. But luckily, like that's another thing. It's like as shitty as it was, like I'm almost glad it happened, because I took that one as serious as I could. And I was like doing physical therapy multiple times a week. And like,
you're like actually fixed now.
Yeah. Full 5 months off the bike, like just working on it, you know, and it's like now my knee feels better than ever. It's
Sick.
Awesome. Now I know how to like actually properly take care of it too. So it's good. Man. Injuries aren't fun. Shit sucks.
Yeah, I like still won't go snowboarding because I'm just like, like I
that's another one, dude. Like I love snowboarding, but like beginning of last year, I took it to the shoulder really bad. Like I don't know if you can tell, but my shoulder is like, I have a separated shoulder pretty bad. It's like
yeah, I can see it
hanging off there. But like I got a little too confident, you know. Just started trying to grind rails, and went to go like I think I wanted to like do like a nose grind on the rail, but I went in at an angle and basically was like in a sideways board slide, but all of my pressure was on my front foot, so it just dug straight into the ground. And then you could like imagine like a scorpion but off your side. It was pretty much that. Like I felt my neck crack and everything, and I immediately like felt my shoulder, and I could feel the lump. I was like, oh, is my shoulder out? So I'm like sitting there like trying to put my shoulder back in. Like I've never had my shoulder dislocate, but I've seen it happen to people. So I'm like, oh yeah, trying to pop it back into place. I'm like, all right, it's not going back into place. And I immediately like put my arm above my head, and I was like, oh, it's in place. It's just very, very separated. So I'm pretty sure I'm like missing the ligament on the side and then the one in the back as well, because that was probably like the third time I've hit that thing pretty bad. So that's another one that I like probably should consider surgery, but don't want to take time off of anything. And if I can ride through it, like probably gonna hit it again one day. So I don't know what to do. It's just kind of ugly, but I'm getting over it, you know.
Man,
charge it to the game.
Yeah. Seriously,
It's like a broken car.
How old are you, man?
I actually turned 29 this year.
Okay, sick. So, I'm 31.
Nice. We're still young, dude. We're doing good.
Yeah, we got time.
Yeah, we're doing all right.
I'm not doing anything crazy. I'll go like, yeah, I stick to the car shit, except I fucking almost hurt myself working on actually I do hurt myself working on my car all the time, and I'm like really
busted knuckles.
nervous. I had a spring slip. I was lifting my forerunner the other day, and I had a spring slip and like catch my finger, and like luckily I was like quick with the pry bar, but dude, I like literally thought I was gonna lose my
my gosh
finger the other day. And I'm like, you know, I think you're more likely to like get hurt building a car than driving it.
Yeah, for real. I like when I first started working on my car, I was like, anytime I'd even jack it up and put it on stands, I'm like, I don't know if I trust these things, dude. Like if my car drops on me, like no one's around to pick this thing up. Like that shit still kind of trips me out. But I mean,
yeah. Always jack stands.
Yeah. Just the amount of times that I put my trust into, and it's like I'm going to continue to trust them. They still work. So
yeah, fuck it. Did you work on? So like, how is one? This is a fucking dumbass question, but like, Did you build your own bikes and stuff all growing
Yeah,
up,
well,
or?
so my mom had that bike shop, so I pretty
Mhm.
much like worked there as much as I could. And then like even after I did my freshman year at high school, and I was like, this shit's whack. So I started homeschooling like the summer semester after that. And my mom was like, oh yeah, like if you homeschool, like if you could just like help me at the shop. So because I was like, before that I would like go to school, and then she would shut the shop down to come pick me up from school to have me work till close. And it was like so much easier if I homeschooled and just worked full time pretty much. Not
Yeah.
full time. I'd work like maybe 4 or 5 hours a day, but still helped her out a lot. And that made it to where I could make cash. And doing summer semesters, I graduated early, and just like I didn't have to go through any of the public school BS kind of thing. And it was like the school I was doing was for kids who basically got like kicked out of school. So it was like
Same.
the easiest thing I've ever done in my life. You just like read a packet, all the answers are in the packet, and just
Hey man, I'm offended, dude. I would get those packets. I got kicked out of the homeschooling kids who got kicked out of school because they'd give me the packets and I'd just go home and be like, I'm not doing this. Like, I was like,
I was a good student, so I was like,
okay.
I could yeah, it was once I realized like how simple it was, I was fine with doing it. Because it was one of those things where you get the packets and have to turn them in like the next Friday. So I would just wait until very last minute Thursday night and just bang it all out at once. And I was like, dude, like 3 hours to like do a week's worth of school, like this is so much more worth it. So I might as well like
Yeah.
do it and take it seriously. And like yeah, I don't even know if I like technically have a diploma right now. It's like, or I mean, I graduated, I like did good, A's and B's or whatever, but it was
It counts.
being like a homeschooling program, they wanted you to like pay extra to walk and get your diploma. And I was like, I'm
Yeah, I didn't
not
do it.
going
Yeah.
to graduation with like people I don't know at all. Like I don't care for this at all. So
Did you have a lot of friends from riding and stuff? Like, what was it like doing the
um
homeschool stuff?
I I had one buddy in school that was like a grade older than me that rode. Most of the kids I grew up with all skated, and like a few of them kind of started getting into trouble. So I kind of I didn't have a problem kind of steering away from school. And like I kept my friends close, as of course, but when it came to like riding, I was always hanging out with people that were like 5, 10 years older than me. I was just like, I don't know, always around the
Sometimes
older crew.
sometimes it's a good influence, sometimes it's a bad influence.
Yeah.
I've had like experience with both of those where I was hanging out with like an older group who was didn't have my best interests or their own in mind, and like you definitely get into some like lifelong trouble. Luckily I like got out of that. But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's a hella good influence.
Yeah. I could see it as like, I feel like it kind of helped me get like a better head on my shoulders. Like I feel like I matured a little bit quicker, but
Yeah.
at the same time, like I felt like I also learned from other people's mistakes at the same time too, you know? Just like watching grown-ups go through like responsibilities and that kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. You're like, oh, this is coming. Like,
Yeah. But
I do need to like make money and you know
yeah.
be able to eat.
Oh yeah. But it was cool. Definitely, you know, had fun at the moment while it was all going on. Wouldn't change any of it, of course.
Yeah, I saw you post stuff for Mother's Day. Your mom like rides motorcycles and stuff too. That's pretty
Yeah,
sick.
so they're actually both of my parents race motocross and like street bikes too.
What?
They met racing at Hollister Hills. The story goes that one of them took each other out in the corner. So my mom was like,
What?
my mom was like one of 10 pro racers that were female at the time. I think in like 88 or 89 or
Oh
something
shit,
like
that's
that.
badass. Like
So there wasn't many
she was
women
racing dudes.
racing.
Like,
Yeah, so like if it was the local races, she was like hopping in just whatever races. And
sick.
I still to this day say my mom is faster and has more style on a dirt bike than my dad. But so
I bet he doesn't like to hear that, huh?
no, but he knows it though. He knows it. It's funny. It's like my mom's more of like the hands-on type of woman, like, and then my dad's like the tech guy. So it's funny. Like I feel like that kind of shows in their riding, but
I see.
that kept me like I grew up basically around all the motorcycle stuff. I was watching like old Jeremy McGrath videos, Steel Roots, Terra Firma, all that stuff. So it kind of just translated to BMX. I just tried to recreate anything I saw watching these videos on a bike when I was like 2 or 3, I guess.
How come you didn't? How come you didn't go like the racing route? How come you went like
money? I would say. I think they kind of saw like an opportunity. Like they knew I would like racing motocross, but racing BMX is way more affordable.
Yeah.
And they did give me a shot at trying to like. I think when I was 5, I got like one of the KTM 50s, and I remember that Christmas like it was yesterday. Like
I bet, dude.
having that thing on the porch, opening the door and seeing that bike. Oh man. But yeah, it was just like too new kind of to like get in competitively wise. I was already so like into racing BMX that like I found where I fit, I guess. And then it was just, I don't know. It kind of was like a little bit scary to me, I guess. And then years later down the road, I think when I was about like 12 or 13, I got an 85, like one of the CR85 expert, like the L models. And I started racing again. And that kind of like picked that up for a good bit and like got a 125 and then a 250F and probably raced from when I was like 13 to 16 or 17. But it was only like local races and like I didn't even know how to do starts or anything.
Yeah.
But in that time period though, my parents are like still enjoying riding and we had like 5 acres of property in Georgia. So they ended up having a guy come down from South Carolina and he built like a full track on our property. So it was like about a mile, like a minute lap time, kind of not super crossy, but like kind of 180 corners, and then had a little section that went down a hill and everything. So I would just spend hours back there. The neighbors hated us, but that like gave me so much more comfortability on a bike. And I kind of started taking racing more seriously. Then I blew up a 250F and it cost like $1,200 to rebuild the bottom end. And then I got a 252 stroke. So my mom was like, "Oh, I was riding a 252 stroke when I was your age. Like you can ride one." And I guess like in the amateur races, that was right when they lit the 252 strokes race with the 254 strokes. So I was just like riding that thing in the lights classes, like racing like this light C class, and would get hole shots and like started winning a good amount of races. But the power band on that thing, like I got kicked off of that bike so many times. Like I hit my head too much, that kind of thing. And it just started steering away from it a little bit. Yeah. Got back on the BMX. I rode BMX the whole time throughout that, of course, but then I think around like 17, I got hooked up by DK bikes, and that was kind of the point where I was like, all right, I'm gonna like just stick with BMX for the main. So
yeah, so it was just you got noticed for that, and you're like, I like it. I got noticed for this.
Well, it's safer and easier to have fun, kind of thing. Like I could ride down the street or just drive wherever to go ride. It's not like, I don't know. Like I love riding moto, but it's like so much more of a mission, you know. You gotta like load
Yeah,
up and
all the gear.
yeah, gear, bike maintenance and gas and all that. And then on top of that, the risk factor of getting
Yeah,
worked.
BMX, you don't even have to have brakes anymore. Like
No.
that was
Dude,
like
bikes are
that was the
crazy
thing that blew
nowadays.
my mind. I'm like, wait. I remember like specifically watching a video and some fool, like I don't even know who it was, like didn't have brakes. And I'm like, is that like the new shit? And then from then on, like I saw like only people with no brakes. And I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck
Uh,
man. Like I don't know if I could get back into this like at all, dude.
yeah. I always thought it was so cool whenever people started taking their brakes off and like my parents owning a bike shop, they were like, no, you're riding with brakes, that kind of thing. Like I remember like oh my god, the first time I took my brakes off, I had probably like the most park bike set up at the time. It was like I had like a full titanium bike. It was like super nice. And then took the brakes off and I was just like, dude, this is I don't know. It just feels so much better. It feels way cooler. I felt like I looked cooler.
Yeah.
But even with tricks like bar spins, I throw with my right hand, catch with the left, and then when you go to put the right hand back on, the brake lever is always there. So like I had
Mm,
multiple times where like I didn't fully grab the grip and I was like handful of brake lever and my
then
thumb
you
would
lock
be
it up.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, you'd lock it up and then just like hand slips off and you just walking your hands over the bars. It's the
Uh,
worst feeling. So I just kind of like steered away from brakes after a while and then kind of kind of helped influence my riding to go a little bit more street too. And then moving to California, there's a lot less transition style skate parks around too.
yeah.
So everything's kind of
And there's a million street spots.
yeah, street spots everywhere. Well, it's still street spots are even getting kind of busty now. Schools and things are getting a lot harder to ride and everything's getting capped. They're taken out. But even like skate parks nowadays are mostly plazas, like skateboard style plaza stuff.
Yeah.
So like it's all had like a pretty heavy influence on my riding, I'd say. But
Yeah. I mean, I can't really relate. Like I guess in drifting there's shit like that too where I don't know, they'll be like people will go like an extreme and then they'll be like, "Oh, I guess we didn't really need that." And it'll go back to like kind of like the fundamentals and then
just
like there'll be like an
basics, yeah.
extreme the other way. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of car stuff, is your car all good from going off track?
Yeah. Dude, even my front bumper was fine.
Really?
Yeah, I had to tighten up some of the stuff in my front end, but at least okay, so you probably don't know this, but the first time I went to that track, my car was like beautiful, like like magazine shoot, like clean, right? Like I
Yeah.
just I just did I just like completely refreshed it. It was like super clean. I just like what else did I do? Anyway, it's embarrassing because it's like the first time Naoki came to America. So that was like Super D Matsuri, I think in 2016.
Oh damn.
And I made instead of making my car drive really well, I made my car super showcary.
Yeah.
And I went out. I'm like, I have like this like love hate with Grange, Apple Valley, because I went out first lap and I'm like, man, these front tires suck. Like, but I had some like 215 35 18s in the front and they like weren't grippy. So like some rubber bands, like
Yeah. Yeah.
tiny front tires. And I'm like, these kind of suck, but like I can make it work. And so I just blast down the front straight and in front of like a bunch of people at the time, like a
I'm
bunch of people that I
sure.
didn't know that well and look up
Yeah.
to.
Sure there's a lot of people at that event too.
Oh, there was like probably like 200 people all just on the entry. And it was right at the beginning. Like I was like, I'm going out. I like pulled up. I literally like, I felt sick. I still had a stereo in my car at the time. I was playing like Careless Whisper by George Michael on the start line, like I was just being so fucking extra, right? Like go out, stuff that shit into the wall, like first, like literally, like when they didn't used to have tires there. They just had like hay bale and the brick wall, and the brick wall hadn't been hit like 15 times yet, so it was like still pretty solid. I like fucked my car up.
Damn. So that same spot, like where you went off, like kind of not the not to the side, but like kind of you basically overshot like straight through the corner, pretty much.
When at this time when you were there, I did a 360 into the wall because I was trying to do a backy. The last time I just understeered like a fucking rookie, dude. Like, yeah. So I fixed my car at the event and I like put bigger front tires on it and I like lifted the front and my car was like super haggard, but I like went out and still had like a good time.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I went there.
As long as it's still drivable, that's all that matters. I mean, it sucks having your car. I'm sure it was meant at the time, but yeah,
whatever. It's supposed to be drifted. Like that was the event I think where I went shit, like my car, like because I used to get really OCD about how my car looked and how it felt, how the steering was, like all these little pieces of my car. And that was the event where I was just like, well, my car's already fucked. Like, fuck it, like I'm just gonna drive the shit out of it. And later in the day I got like a little bit more comfortable, but I used to get in my head a lot, like because like dude, I'd been watching like Team Burst since I was like 16, you know what I mean? And now here's the dude, like this is like it was like my Michael Jordan, bro. Like you know what I mean? And he like watched me just fucking crash the wall like first lap out, so I got in my head a little bit, but
yeah, I feel like it's a lot easier to have fun when you have less cares, for sure.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, I mean, my car is not anywhere near as nice as or cool looking as yours, but I'm like,
have you been up close to my car? My car looks like it's a piece of shit. Like,
it looks good in photos, man.
Yeah, it looks good in pictures. The graphics hide a lot, trust me.
Oh no, that's good though. Yeah, I definitely always like would trip out on either like hurting wheels or even like side skirts and stuff. I still take my bumper off because that's like, I was like telling a buddy, like it came since the car I got is salvage, it came with a Nismo bumper on it. I guess they put it on because it was like in a front end accident, and it's like for what I paid for the car, like that bumper is worth like a fraction of the car, so I'm like not gonna risk that thing. But other than that, it's still like, yeah, it's just I'm just trying to care less. And
you just gotta get to the point where you're like, it all comes with time. And then like the big thing that one of my teammates, Julian, used to say all the time, like if you didn't total your car, it was a good event, like if you got damaged, like you'll fix it, but it just, I don't know, it comes with time. Like you've been drifting like what, like a couple years now, or
pretty much I'd say like 2 years probably.
Yeah, like I'm 10 years into doing events, so it's like it took me 4 or 5 to like let go and just be like, whatever happens. Like I love this car, but like who gives a shit? Like I built it to do this thing. Like I'm not gonna get better at it unless I don't care. Like exactly. If you're thinking about the car while you're doing it, it's like if you're thinking about if you're gonna fucking hurt your bike while you're trying to do tricks.
Yeah, see, I'm way past that point.
Yeah, exactly. Like once you get to that point with cars, you're gonna fucking rip. Like
I also get bikes for free though, so
fair.
But I'd get that, like, and that's the point why like I bought this car salvage title, because I was like, I plan on running it to the ground, so it's a lot easier to have less cares for it. But then like I bought it with intentions of that, and then I like spent 20 hours like wet sanding it and everything.
It looks nice, dude. I was like, that was a fucking salvage title car.
Yeah. Like it's, I mean, I don't know if what's actually wrong with it, what made it salvaged in the first place, so it's kind of like weird to me. But yeah, I'm like trying to go back to the whole idea of like I got the car to destroy it. But
I mean, you'll get there.
Yeah,
it's hard to like separate. It's hard to like just let go. Like I remember the exact moment where I was just like, I don't give a fuck what happens to this car. I'm just gonna do crazy shit. And like that's my driving got like better, way better that day.
That's what I'm finding that balance of like sending it, but being able to make it home still without it trailering. So
That's the hard part. I think once you get the trailer, you know, maybe you don't need the trailer right away, but
yeah,
you know, once you get the trailer and you're like, this is a drift car. Like I'm gonna get doors like like in this thing.
I
That's
definitely,
it.
that's my next goal. I want to start doing tandems with people, but that's as much as I want to do that. Like, I don't want to hurt my body on my car either. So
Sounds
I've
like you
seen
need to
what
get another
happens.
salvage title car.
Yeah, right. Oh man, no, it sounds like I need to just get someone on my door and get it out of the way, get it out of my system.
Yeah. The best thing, right, is you want to figure out like what that distance is. Like you need to, like, if you want to start like chasing close, like you need to hit somebody. Like you need to like bump somebody or like just full on hit them. Like once you get that out of the way, you'll realize, like, I guarantee you it's going to take you a little bit before you start doing that, but like you're going to see like once you start tandeming, you're going to see pictures and you're going to be like, I was on their fucking door, bro, this shit was
Yeah,
sick. And then you're going to see
just
pictures and you're going to be like hella far away. Like it
yeah,
happened to me forever. So just skip all that and like don't be like me and waste like 4 years thinking that you're close, and just like find friends and like, I mean, I don't know if it's like, if you have like a friend who has like a missile car, just like drive that and like find that
yeah,
distance.
true.
You know what I mean? Like if you're scared to crash your car, like, you know, just
Luckily, stuff's fixable as well.
yeah.
So
And
I'm
it
like,
and
I'm definitely getting to the point where I'm more concerned about how the car feels driving rather than how it looks. So
that's a
I'll definitely, I'll get there. I'll get there.
that's a good point. I mean, you want to look sick though. Like
Yeah, true.
there's a balance, but
That's my goal though, is to get some damage on some fenders and get over fenders and everything. So I could look even sicker down the road at this point.
it's only time, it's only money. Like, you know, if you're not at like a point where you can ball out and like fix it, you know, like, dude, I've done hell if I hate fiberglass, but I could do it, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
like, you know, now I'm like, I'll just give it to my friend and be like, hey man, dude, please, like shout out fucking Phil Slow Body, dude. Thank you. I fucking hate doing fiberglass.
Yeah, I need the fiberglass plugged in. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't have anything fiberglass yet, but whenever it comes
Yeah.
down the road.
I mean, yeah, I mean, when you spend more time doing it, like the more time you work on the car, the more time you like feel comfortable. Like you're like, all right, if I fuck this up, like I can fix it. You know, like if you're like, fuck, if I fuck this up, I'm gonna have to like, do I take it to a body shop? Do I like call my friend?
Yeah.
Like where do you know what I mean? Like, so as time goes on, it's like all that stuff kind of just gets easier. You're like, oh, I know what I know what color code is. I know what Rust-Oleum color is really close to this color code. Like I just spray it down.
Yeah, that's funny. I feel like lately, with how much time we've had, like YouTube's been my best friend. I feel like you can really learn anything off of YouTube. So
Yeah.
if I'm ever in that situation, I'm sure I could find an easier solution and just figure it out myself. And as much as it might suck, get it out of the way to where I'm at least confident or I know I can fix it down the road. So
Is your car a 350 or 370?
it's a 50, but it's a 2008. So it's one with the HR motor guy.
Nice. Sick.
So
High rev.
yeah, thing's fun, dude. I love it. It's so awesome. It's very, very stock motor, but it's more than enough power to
Oh
have
yeah.
fun for sure. It's like,
Those VQs are perfect. I drove Rich Whiteman. His name's Rich Whiteman. He's going to Pro Spec this year, but he let me drive his, it's like a stock 350Z with welded and angle, and I was like, dude, this car's fucking awesome. Like,
yeah, no, I'm like, I mean, I really haven't driven in like any other chassis. I think I've driven like a stock KA S14 or like slid that around. way harder to drift than my car, but yeah, dude, that's like the way it transitions and everything. Like, I don't know if it's the wheelbase or what, but after especially after getting like an angle kit, I ended up getting kind of hooked up with some GK Tech stuff. So I have like the angle kit and all like the arms and the rears. So it's pretty set up, and it's crazy how much better it feels now, like how controlled it feels. It's awesome. I love it. I just like, I really, really enjoy driving that thing. And it's
You
like,
should have you driven Horse Thief at Willow?
no, dude, I actually, I went to like, I got invited to the Grid Life thing that they had not too long ago. And
Sick.
I drove 3 hours out there, threw a set of spares in the hatch. And when I got there, my wheel bearing on the left was like, left rear was completely shot. Like, car would be on the ground and you could like wiggle it side to side, up and down, like everything. And I like could feel it on the drive there. Like, it almost felt like a wobbly alignment or something. Like,
Yeah.
so I kind of just blew it off, whatever, didn't even think much of it. And I just didn't even take my car out at all. So that's the only time I went out there. But just for driving 3 hours somewhere and like risking, I don't know what kind of damage a wheel bearing would do, like drifting or whatever.
The wheel will come off.
Could it be that bad?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
what
You're probably smart there.
I would I would
Yeah.
have been SOL if I were to be trying to slide that thing 3 hours away from home and not be trying to pay to have that thing towed. So I played it safe, just hung out. And that was actually where I got to drive one of the little S14s, just on a little balcony area. But
balcony's fun. It's got some good lines.
Yeah, it's cool. I think the dude, it was like a drift class thing, and they just had a little like school cars, and I think his name was Naoki. But he just like had cones set up, and I was like kind of pretended like I was drifting or like learning or whatever, and he was like, "Oh, you've done this before." So I didn't get to actually drive like the normal layouts. It was kind of more just like doing circles and figure eights and that kind of thing. But it was like, at least I still got to have a little bit of fun out there. It wasn't like I just drove out there to hang out all day, even though it was still just cool hanging out, and like all the FD guys were there and stuff too. So seeing them drive Horse Thief is insane.
Yeah. Horse Thief's really fun. Like the elevation change, like did you get to ride any cars on Horse Thief or?
No, I had the opportunity to, but I ended up shooting back home because I was worried about traffic. So, which I ended up getting stuck in traffic. It took like 4 hours to get home, but it was
a
rough.
bad wheel bearing.
Yeah, I mean, luckily I was going slow. The like first initial part of the drive when I was going down the hill, like every time I'd go like through a right bend, I could feel it kind of just like swaying a little bit. It was freaking me out, but it made it home. We did it. But I've driven a Horse Thief on the simulator.
Yeah, the elevation in person is like pretty crazy. Like you
have
like
you got to drive it? Have you driven it?
Yeah, I've driven like 4 times, I think.
Nice.
Yeah, the downhill is pretty gnarly. Like
that seems scary. I think
I
know it.
Yeah, you like can't lift. You just have to go in and transition like full throttle. It's pretty fun though. It's like a really good it forces good driving technique because it teaches you like you can like no lift transition when you're going like downhill and stuff. And then it also teaches you like the timing and stuff, like because if you e-brake too hard coming down the hill, you don't have the momentum unless you got like a bunch of power. So it's like a really good course. I mean, you have like a bunch of really great courses for learning technique. Like Apple Valley is awesome, and I'd definitely check out Horse Thief.
Yeah, I think like driving on something with elevation would be like a big change for me, because literally like the only two tracks I've driven are pretty much just flat for the most part. And it's like they like are pretty open, but like I don't know. I'm in second gear most of the time, other than the entry at Grange. So it's kind of like they're more just seem technical to me. So it would be cool. I feel that Horse Thief is a lot faster. So it'd be nice to experience that one. Definitely plan on it. Bummed I didn't get to, but I'm sure I'll have another chance someday.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll catch the invite, you know?
Yeah. Hopefully. And hopefully
Yeah.
I make it home that day too.
Yeah. 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 I get the like tandeming getting home thing. My very first drift event, I like bent a tie rod like my first lap out. And I kind of just was like, I like barely knew how to work on cars at the time. And I'm like, I think I can like bend it back, or does someone have one? So I was like asking around, and I like got another one to like drive home, and I lost the nut for the outer tie rod, and
Oh God.
like put a lug nut on there and just like drove it home all fucked up.
Oh man. Yeah, it's funny. I like at the last event, I just went to one like a few days ago, or actually, yeah, on the 7th. And I don't know if you know like who the Team Hoochie dudes are, but dude Russell Baldwin, he was out there, and I guess like third lap in, ended up breaking a tie rod. And he was like, "Oh yeah, it's all good. I got a welder. I'm just gonna like," he like welded a fucking wrench in between this tie rod and like went back out on track and was driving. I was like, "That's one way to do it." That's insane. So I've definitely seen that in other people. It seems like tie rods are probably like the most common thing that go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But
always have some spare ones on the
yeah,
like. I don't. Those dudes have BMWs, right? That's pretty like uncommon.
yeah.
I don't.
He's in the 46.
Yeah, I don't bend tie rods very often, so he must have done something wild.
Yeah, I don't actually. I think they might have hit each other, possibly. I'm
That'll
not
do
too
it.
sure.
Yeah, that'll
They
do it.
they were. I just remember watching them. They were like first cars out on the track in the day, and like they were getting so close. So I'm sure that would have been it, but I don't know for sure. I missed it. Either way, those dudes are sick to watch. They're good drivers.
You just gotta just start doing the tandeming, man. Why not?
Yeah, no, I want to, and it's like even on like the sim, like I'm pretty comfortable doing it on the simulator, but and I've like kind of tandem with my buddy Ethan a little bit at Adams, but it was like I always let him follow, and I just gave him a little bit of space, but yeah, I'll do it. I definitely feel like that's like my next step. I'm like comfortable enough to where I feel like I can correct something to prevent hitting someone. I like to think that at least, but I definitely I want to chase for sure. Is that like weird at all?
No,
Because
that's what
I
everyone wants to do.
yeah, because I definitely like I don't want to make a mistake and someone be behind me. So because I've already kind of done that like a few events, or actually like last year, one of my buddies like has like a Pro Am LS 240, and
Mm.
we were like out on the skid pad at Grange, and he was like, let's do figure eights, like yeah, you lead whatever. And this was before I had the hydro set up. I had like this weird kind of like handle thing I made from this like just piping thing, and it was all like hose clamped to my e-brake. And I went to go like yank it, and he was following behind me, and I ended up spinning out. And I just remember like stopping and looking behind me, and he's just like fully coming at me, and like ended up crunching his whole door like into my rear wheel. So that was the first little love tap my car got. So the body of my car isn't perfect. It's on its way to becoming a pretty legit drift car. But after that, I was like, yeah, like I don't think I want to lead at all. I would way rather follow someone. So
I mean, that's a good place to start.
yeah. I also like I think the track would be a little bit better too, just having it's like a little bit more of a line to follow, really,
Yeah.
rather than just like figure eights on a skid pad, I guess. But
Yeah.
we'll get there. I plan on it.
Yeah. You'll get to a point eventually. I mean, if you want to, you'll get to a point where you'll feel like I don't run a rear view mirror in my car. Because like I don't want to know how close they are, like going down the front straight. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to like look I don't want to like look back and see their car right there because it like
Yeah.
because
You
it
just
like
psych
adds
yourself out.
yeah, it adds pressure. So like I don't run a rear view mirror. So like
Yeah.
I'm like
I,
wherever they are, you know what I mean? And you like throw it in, and if they're right there, you're like sick. But if like, I'm not like thinking about it,
yeah. I guess I actually had someone like following me at an event once, and it was like I didn't even like talk to them at all prior. Like barely even knew the kid, but he just like got up on me, and I was like driving, and I looked back, and he's like, "Don't fucking look back at me." He was like, "Look forward." I was like, "Oh shit!" Like it kind of made me realize, like, all right, just do your thing. Like you need to be paying attention, like fully aware of what you got going on in front of you, if someone's behind you. So
yeah. I mean, you can like glance and stuff, but like if you're like looking for a while, like I think I'm at the point where like I can look and like just like wave or whatever, like
yeah, you're way more comfortable than me. I'm like,
yeah, fine. But yeah, like starting out, yeah, don't look back, because then the car does like weird stuff, like it'll start to like you'll get offline.
I believe that like your car goes where you're looking, like same thing with like a bike, really, like body follows wherever you're looking.
Interesting. So there are some similarities.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I mean, just you'll get there. If you want,
Oh, I definitely want to. I just got to get it out of the way, Need more events in my life. Need more tires more than anything.
I hear that. I fucking hear that.
I'm always like the last event I went to, I just brought one set of wheels, and I just try to make that one set last as long as possible, which is like, so I'm pretty surprised at how long a set will last with the Z, like decent alignment. And I don't know, ended up having to run a little bit higher air pressure too, because I feel like did the new pavement at Apple Valley seem like really grippy to you?
I on the first day, like on the day where they kind of like just finished it and they had like the grand opening, it was really icy, and then they sealed the track, and then it got pretty grippy. So they sealed it, and then they've had a bunch of events, and now there's a bunch of rubber down, and it's definitely grippier, but it saves tires.
Yeah, that's probably what it was then.
If you run lower tire pressure, the tires actually last a little longer. So like you want to find like that perfect spot where like you're not fighting the car, but you're not just like spinning the tires off really easily.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and then like the less e-brake you use, the longer the tires will last, because they like flat spot less.
Learned about that too.
yeah, we're on a budget, all of us, so all those little tips help.
Yeah. I think. How much like what is done to the motor of your car? Is it pretty much just like stock motor that comes in it?
No, I have a 1JZ.
Oh my god, no, I'm totally wrong.
But it's a stock 1JZ with a stock turbo that's been modified, so like the like wheel is a little bit bigger, and it's just running E85. And
so you know how much like power you might be putting down estimated?
It makes 340 wheel, 365 foot-pounds of torque.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah, so it's decent.
Yeah.
But I mean, like my car, probably for the last 3 years, I didn't have a tune, and I only ran like 9 pounds of boost before, so it probably made like VQ numbers. So I mean, like if you keep the horsepower down, like you don't go through hella tires, it's a really good to learn with like low power. Like and like a VQ is like debatably like high power compared to like when I was starting. Like low power was like KAs,
Yeah.
And like if somebody had an SR, it was like, damn,
Yeah.
like a stock SR, people are like, whoa, dude, you got hella power, you know? And then like now it's like 300 is like not that much, you know? It's kind of crazy. So
Yeah, 300 is enough for me. I wouldn't mind having like a little bit more. Like 350 is probably awesome feeling, but then again, like you're saying, tire life and everything too.
for these short tracks and stuff too, man, like 300's perfect. Like you're like you have like a really good setup to just like progress for a while.
Would you
And
say
then
that a stock VQ block is like decent enough power for horse Steve? Because
for sure.
it seems like so much faster.
Yeah, you could do it. I mean, have you drifted in third yet?
Uh, just the entry. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. You can, I mean, you can spin third with a VQ for sure, especially at
Yeah.
HR. I mean, like I think you can get, don't they have like, you can tune the ECUs on those, right?
Yeah, they have like the up rev tune and stuff. Like I've considered doing it, but it's just been kind of like one extra thing that I need to do. I've just been kind of lazy. I feel like I don't necessarily need it, but been meaning to.
Yeah. I feel like you'd definitely be able to spin third with that. I think you can spin third because I drove one with like 260. Like I don't know what size tire you run, but I drove one. I drove this. The one I drove, I think, was stock with 265s, and
Yeah.
it can spin third with like a couple clutch kicks here and there. But
Yeah. I just run like 245/40. Seems to be like
that's a good
pretty
size.
decent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
18.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, some good options in that size. You're
Yeah.
not like all like everyone's running 265s now, and you can't get them anywhere. So
Yeah. I'm like on the weird setup. I got that like, and then I kind of run like a weird squared setup so I can just like rotate front and back or whatever pretty easily. But it's like
street
kind
car
of
stuff.
strange having, yeah, it's just weird having like 10.5s on the front kind of.
I
But I
mean,
mean,
those
it's
Z's
like,
can fit them, man.
yeah, like it fits. It doesn't look too bad. And like I barely grind a tie rod a little bit here and there, but it's like still pretty good. I don't know. I'm like always looking under my car every time I go out, like double check, make sure everything's tied under the front, and then like see if there's any grinding, wheel rubbing stuff. But I mean, it seemed to be doing good, so I'm not too worried about it.
I don't know the Z stuff super well, but I feel like running maybe a smaller front wheel and tire might help you out, but I don't know the Z stuff that well. Just for
Yeah,
like steering input, because sometimes like a bigger wheel makes the car like the steering wheel not move as quick.
kind of sluggy almost, like,
Yeah,
or because I definitely had that feeling where I it feels like I need to force it a little bit more to like throw the car kind of. So that would
yeah,
make sense, but I'm also like getting used to how that feels too, and am kind of adjusted to it. So
yeah, man. Just keep it
yeah,
simple for now. Like run the basic stuff. Whatever you have, just like run that and like don't change a bunch of shit and just like keep getting better with what you have. And then like over time you'll realize like, oh shit, I need to change this. Or like, oh, okay, like I think this does this because of this. Like I always made the mistake when I was, my first like few years of drifting. I would do an event and I'd be like, that doesn't feel right, and like change something. And then I go to the next event and I wasn't like able to progress because I was always learning the car every time I drove it. So I think you're making the right
yeah,
call, just like keeping it simple.
yeah. I'm doing it the most budget way as possible right now with
Yeah.
changing as little as possible. But I just got my hands dipped into too much stuff right now with like not only with like the bike stuff, but then buying a dirt bike as well and
Yeah.
cars on top of that. And I'm just
It's a cool ass
trying to
life
kind
though.
of,
Could be
yeah,
worse.
no, I love it. I just like having fun. I like toys, man. Shit's cool.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah,
I look forward to you, you know, getting comfortable tandeming. Come tandem with us, Be good,
yeah.
man.
Do you guys have any more plans of coming back down this way anytime soon?
Uh Maybe. I'll let you know.
Yeah,
Right
keep me
now.
updated. Maybe not.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
anytime I mean, my schedule's been pretty free for the most part lately, so
Sick.
I'm always down to send it out to Apple Valley or
Yeah,
shoot
and if
any
you're
other
driving,
track
dude,
really.
I'd be happy to like, not everybody wants pointers from me because like I may not be the fucking best, but I'm happy to like give you some fucking input or whatever.
I appreciate it. I'll take all I can get at this point, really.
Yeah, man. Cool. Well, I think it's been like, I don't know. I think it's been like an hour and a half or something, dude. You want to call it? You good? Like,
Yeah, I mean,
I got a burrito right here
that's
that I'm just looking at.
oh yeah, dude. No, if you got a burrito, you got to get to it. I didn't even realize it's almost 8. I'm about to have to cook some dinner for myself and my girl.
Yeah, dude. Thank you for
So
doing this, man.
yeah, awesome. No worries. I appreciate you having me on here. It's cool getting to chat and kick it,
Yeah,
talk car stuff. I'm
yeah.
not very like I said, I don't really know too much about the whole scene and everything. I don't really know too much about what I'm doing. I just know I enjoy it.
Well, we're happy to have you. Any like any positive influence on the community, we're happy about. So
Oh yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you, man.